Welcome to your Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by B2B Panel from USAMP. In its written announcement revealing full 2012 financial results, Ipsos took what I thought was a highly unusual step, reporting essentially flat pro forma revenues versus 2011, that's for Ipsos and Santee together, and a slight dip in pro forma gross profit, although improving quarter to quarter during 2012. Ipsos management didn't just say what is restraining future improved results. Ipsos actually wrapped those guiding the financial fortunes of EU countries with their emphasis on austerity. Ipsos said it sees the EU slipping, quote-unquote, day by day further into the tragicomedy of decline. And its statement for the benefit of stockholders and analysts added, quote, Europe is sick and getting sicker and will drag down other economies with it, particularly if the USA is unable to rein in bipartisanship and introduces excessively restrictive policies, the only outcome of which is a collapse in final demand, end of quote. Next, the first 2 minutes with commentary that we presented from True North Marketing Insights' David Santee got a very nice response. Today, he brings up a recent corporate executive board study that shows that what senior company leaders say they want and expect from their research teams does not at all correspond to what they are getting.
The last time we spoke, we talked about the gap that exists between what senior leaders want of us and what we're providing. They want us to be that strategic thought partner. They want us to be that internal consultant, but according to a study by the Corporate Executive Board, we're not. I thought I needed to expand on this just a little bit more. This is such an important issue. Also talked about a well-known financial service firm who actually made a change. They made a change at the head of the research department because they didn't want someone just to deliver research reports. They wanted someone that's going to help guide the company to where they need to go. This is a real issue. We have to recognize that the gap exists. Bob, a few weeks ago, you gave John Burshik 2 minutes. In it, he said how the whole client experience discipline seems to have bypassed market research. I agree completely. Here's another example. Voice of the customer initiatives have typically bypassed market research. Let me say that again. Voice of the customer initiatives have typically bypassed market research. Is that ironic or what? Although we've changed the names of our department to Market Insights, we really haven't closed this gap. We're told to be more strategic, but we spend little time learning about strategy. We're told to be internal consultants, yet we spend little time learning about what that means to be an internal consultant. What does an internal consultant look like, and how do you know when you're being good at it? Pick up the latest issue of Quirks, or AMA's Market Research Magazine, or even the latest research conference. And it's interesting what they do not talk about. They spend a lot of time talking about methodology and surveys and online versus something else. But they don't talk about how to become that better consultant. They don't talk about how researchers can become better strategists. They typically don't talk about how we can get our insights really understood and utilized by senior managers, by the people that make the biggest decisions. Look, it's great to have skills in analytics. We need the analytics. We need the numbers. We need the methods. We always have to get better at that. Our discipline is nothing if we don't have that. But it can't stop there. It can't stop at the research report that gets put on a desk. It needs to be more than that. The great news is that it's truly up to us. It's up to us to close that gap. But first, we have to recognize that the gap exists. I'm Dave Santee, and that's my 2 minutes.
That's your Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by B2B Panel from USAMP. Check it out at the link beneath this video screen. Have a great research day, and we'll meet you right back here tomorrow.